Hi TV people! Right folks, bit of an update on this house behind. This is a HMO conversion we're doing in Newcastle. So we are converting this into a memory 6-bed, all ensuite HMO, and this was classed as a commercial to resi because it was previously down as a hairdresser's. Get me thinking going. So we're a few weeks in now. We've done quite a bit of work. So a bit of a progress update for you. So you can follow it along on the YouTube channel, people. Anyway, into room 1. So as you can see, stud works up. The site is a bit dirty, if I'm honest. It needs, the labourers are due in tomorrow to try and tidy all this stuff up. But the first fix is complete. As in all the stud work's done. All the electrics are in, so the first fix electrics is in. They're in there. And the plumbing's in actually. Pipe work. Voila! So we're kicking arse on this. So we have a little bit of problems on this job. So this wall here is the entry. So the other side of this wall is an entry that goes down to the back. I shall show you outside in a minute. And the brickwork was bulging, and if we put our hands up and say that when we were doing the rip out and we were taking the meter off the wall, which is removing this plaster, the wall was that weak because this was previously where the chimney was. So that would have been the previous chimney breast. The brickwork was very, very weak there. So when we were taking this off, we actually caused a bit of damage. So because we're nice, we put it right at our own cost. So that's what that is there. And a bit of an explanation on how we do it. Here's the Blue Peter. Here's one I did earlier. For all of those of you that don't know what an Acrow is and what a strong boy is, this is an Acrow. So this is an Acrow. It's basically a big large lump of metal with a thread, and you turn this round, moves this pin up and down, and it puts pressure on there. So the green part, this big pole, and you know I like a big pole, you know what I mean? Woo! And the plate at the top, this flat part here, this stainless looking thing, that's called a strong boy. And what that does is it obviously wedges inside the brickwork and puts pressure on there so it stops it from falling, because what we've done is taken all the bricks out beneath. So that holds the house up whilst we're doing the brickwork, and we leave that in until the brickwork's done. And then when the brickwork's gone off and it's solid, we can then remove this, and then all we do is point in that little bit. And that's the method of using a strong boy in an Acrow. And that's what it's for. It's basically just a support. So if you didn't know, you do know. Educated people, educated. So yeah, so this is going to be the ensuite for the first one. So we've got a shower, toilet, sink in there. I'm going to take you through here. So we've obviously removed all the plaster around the perimeter because we're going to be doing a full damp course. It's very typical for these houses in Stoke-on-Trent to not have a damp course due to the age of the property. Previously there was a wall there, and this was a little toilet that was built for the salon. So what we've had to do is put some big U-beams in and bolt them together, and we sit those on pad stones, which is these big hard tempered concrete pads, which is designed to take the weight. So the method again is what we've had over there, the Acrow. We'd have some bigger ones, we'd prop it all up, which would hold the top along here. We then push the steel in, set them on beds of cement on these pad stones, which are these big pieces of concrete. So you've got one there and one there. And then we put more Acrows underneath, which is going to hold it up. We put the brickwork on top. Obviously once it's all gone off, we then remove the Acrows, and that's it. So because it's a 2 brick wall upstairs, each beam is holding one skin of the brick. So what I'm trying to say there is, if you look at this, as you can see, you've got one brick coming out here and you've got another brick there. So the wall is made up of 2 bricks. So above me is the same. So if you followed it round from there, 1 brick, 2 brick, follow that round. So you've got the 1 brick and the 2 brick there. So each one of these steels is holding a course of brickwork, which is then holding the top of the house up. I hope that made sense. And then we have to drill and bolt them together, and that's to stop them from coming apart, which is what we call splicing, so it stops it from parting. Woo! Into the open plan kitchen and diner. So we've ripped everything out again. We've got pipe work, we've got electric, so all that's done now, it's ready for plastering. We are currently digging out for the drains for this ensuite, for the toilets. So that's on the way there. This will become bedroom 3. So we're going to be putting a window inside that back wall there. And that'll make it beautiful, because it'll let lots more light in. And as you can see, all these rooms are quite a decent size, to be honest. And yep, if you look down there, that's all channeled out ready. So whilst I'm here, I shall take you outside, people. So what we've had to do is we've dug down there to expose the drains. I've got a bit more of an interesting fact on this one, actually. So we've exposed that, and that's an old salt glaze pipe, so it's the old 8-inch size. And that comes out of there, so obviously inside there is where the ensuite is. We've dug the floor out, which you can see just above my finger, tickle tickle, which comes into there. It then runs down here under the ground, hits that manhole, which then runs down further. And this is where we've come to find it. So there's a pipe that's going down there and down there, and what we've got to do is cut into it, but that's an old 8-inch pipe and we don't have 8-inch connections anymore. So what we've actually got to do is we've got to brick around this and replicate what I've just shown you up there. So we've got to build a brick chamber with a top on it, so that we can tap into it without having to cut the pipe too much. We're just going to cut the top off to expose it, and then the chamber of brickwork, which is basically a square box, will become the chamber, which is the connection in there. So out to the side of this wall here will be the connection from the toilets from inside there. I hope that makes sense. So what I might do is do another video on it so that you get it.
Don't do it!
But basically, we've got to build a brick box, which is the same size as what you can see, so that when the poo and wee comes out, it goes into the brick box, all falls into the same pipe and runs down without actually breaking into the pipe. We're just going to cut the top off the pipe. I hope you get that. And there's another strong boy, and an Acrow, because that's the opposite side. So as you can see, because we damaged it, we've actually put it right. All the brickwork's done. Beautiful! So these are things that are unforeseen things. So for instance, we would never know what size the pipe was, even though there's been a drain survey done. So that's one of the things where your contingency fund comes in, because that's going to be an extra, because we never priced for putting a brick chamber in, because we could never see what was in there. So something else for you people. And up the stairs. So into the big bedroom at the front. So this bedroom's a bit special because it's got two nice big windows. It's going to let plenty of light in there. We've got a really good size ensuite there. That's obviously the doorway into it. And then what we have done is, again, put another lintel in, which is that bit there. Done a cutout, and what we've done there is, because this room's so big, we've actually pinched from there out of this room, so that the ensuite goes in here for this room to try and increase the size of this bedroom. So I hope that makes sense, which means there's that same concrete lintel. So let's show you. There. The concrete lintel's been put in. So if we stand here, we've got stud work that's going in. The only part of the stud work of this ensuite that's inside here is probably taking up about a square metre. The rest of it is in the front bedroom. So by putting that in and cutting into the wall, it's allowed us to keep the space in this bedroom and take up some of the space in that bedroom, because it's huge, which means now the bedrooms are both of a very similar size, nice and big. So when it comes to rental yield, the bigger the room, you can get a double bed in, you'll get more moolah. And this one's the iffy room in my opinion. I'm a bit, however, it's not my design. So we've taken some of the wall out here. Again, we've used 2 U-beams that have been drilled together, as you can see. Again, these are the same method of pad stones. So let's open this room up. So this was originally the bathroom, and as you can see, the toilet is there. So where I'm stood now is the doorway. So this would be the view that you would see when you walk in. So we've got a step here, which we're going to have to try and make some form of feature out of, which goes from there to there. And then you're going to walk in. For me, this room doesn't flow, but it's a room nevertheless. It's still got other sides en suite. The square meterage of the room is still good. I'm just not quite sure where you would place the bed. So hands up, people, if this was your room, where would you place the bed? Because you've got a step there, so you can't go in that space. That's the entrance. You've only got a small return there, so if you have the bed that way, it's going to be a bit intrusive on that entrance. And if you have the bed with the headboard going across there, it's still going to overhang. So for me, I'm a bit ski-whiff. I'm not quite sure how it's going to work. So this is just an idea of the amount of structural work we've done on this one, because above me, we've got a gallows bracket. So that's a chimney that we've had to take out. So we've got the space in here. So as you can see, that would have been in the previous chimney. And that's what it looks like when one's fitted. So it's 2 brackets with a steel plate, and that holds and supports the chimney up there. So we've got all this space down here. So, you know what a chimney bracket and gallows bracket looks like. I've showed you how to use an Acrow and a strong buoy. I've shown you what we do with U-beams and bolted them together to stop them from splicing. I've also shown you what the pad stones are. I think you've learnt quite a bit on this one. So there you go, people. A little bit of an update for you. And that's us. Hype Building, Stoke-on-Trent. If you want anything doing, give us a call and we will make it happen. Stay tuned for the rest of the series, and I'll see you shortly. See you later, people. Mwah.